Okay, Christina here to listen to some music. And today's music selection is Mr. Blue Sky by ELO. So I definitely know ELO, Electric Light Orchestra. I know the band, I know one of their albums. And I may have heard a couple of their songs in the background or in movies and things like that, but I've never sat down and listened to other songs other than from the one album that I know, and that is the album Discovery. I don't think that's their most famous album, but I don't care because I love it. It's sort of similar to my journey with Pink Floyd. The one album that I know of for Pink Floyd is Momentary Lapse of Reason. From what I've gathered from comments on my recent reaction to Comfortably Numb here on the channel, is that Momentary Lapse of Reason is kind of a unique way to start your journey with Pink Floyd. And so maybe my journey with ELO is equally unique, starting it with Discovery. I guess that's an appropriate title then for my journey, Discovery. And by the way, how did I come across just that one album? It's kind of a funny story. I was visiting family. They had teenagers in the house with an amazing cassette tape collection. And I had just gotten my first Walkman as a little kid. If you know, you know. And they let me go through their collections, and I picked one tape that I got to listen to while I was there, and it was ELO's Discovery. And I fell in love with it. So I immediately had to go and ask my parents, can you buy this tape for me? And I know it front to back. I love every song on that album. So I definitely know the sounds of ELO, but not much else. I know that I've heard this song like in movies or like walking around in clothing stores, you know, in malls and stuff. They have this song, I think, playing in the background. But again, I've never sat down like with headphones and listened to the music for the sake of the music. So I am here for this because I already am a weird little fan of ELO and I have been for years, for decades. But this is still going to be like a first listen for me. All right, so here we go. Enough talking. Don't forget to do all the things though. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. But let's go ahead and listen. Okay. Oh, I also know that ELO started in 1970 and this song was released in 1977. I don't know where that falls into their discography, but we'll get there. Okay. All right. I'm so excited about this. Okay, here we go.
Why you had to hide away for so long? Where did we go wrong? Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong? Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong? Hey there, Mr. Blue, it's a place to be with you. Look around.
Okay, I gotta stop it there. It's about halfway through. It's so much fun. I can just barely sit still. It's so much fun. Okay. So yeah, this is the ELO that I love from the album Discovery. Every single fingerprint is in here that I know. And I'm just overflowing with joy. But this song kind of emotes an overflowing of joy, doesn't it? It's so happy. I hope the lyrics mean something happy. I thought I caught on to a couple of things maybe that were happy. So let me check out the lyrics just quickly. Sun is shining in the sky. There ain't a cloud in sight. It's a beautiful new day, hey? Oh. But soon comes Mr. Night, creeping over. Everybody smiles at you. Okay. I just can't help but smile. So it could be a literal meaning like rainy days and then the clouds go away and then we have the nice blue sky and you can go outside and play and we're so happy to see you. And but then it could be more philosophical, like we have good days and we have bad days, and it's really nice to see the good days, and the bad days will always show up at some point, and so we just need to appreciate the good days when we have them. And that's sort of my philosophy, you know, that you don't need to be perfect and just be okay. I end every one of my videos with that, and I really mean it. And so when things are good, enjoy them. Even when things are not so good, try to find the good and enjoy that. Easier said than done, I know. But anyway, I'm going to smile through this one. I just can't help it. You just want to like bounce in your chair. It's just so much fun. Okay. So musically, all the fingerprints, they're all there. And I felt this way with Pink Floyd, like with my Comfortably Numb reaction. I saw David Gilmour playing live and singing. Like I had heard that voice and heard him playing that instrument for decades, and all of a sudden for the first time I was looking and seeing him perform, and it meant so much to me. I got to know this band like 10 years before I got to know Pink Floyd. So this is ingrained in my musical personality. ELO was sort of injected into my musical journey as a child, and absolutely is it now in my DNA. It has influenced other music that I listen to, both classical and non-classical. It has influenced my own music compositions, and I'm so grateful for it. So, what are the things that I'm hearing? I'm hearing, of course, the vocal harmonies. I'm hearing the fun little diction that they use where there's something sort of very short and flat about the way they pronounce their vowels. And like the A's, the short A's are very, very short. And then the percussion, again, everything is sort of dry. There isn't a whole lot of reverb, even with the strings. The only time we get reverb, I think, usually is with the choir. When there's always a choir in the background, I always remember that having some resonance to it. And to me, it gives it a lot of depth. But I haven't heard a lot of the big choir stuff yet. Just the vocal harmonies of the main singers. And the echoes, the call and answer, and the echoing, and the slides, and then, you know, again, the dry percussion, the and then always some kind of iconic percussion sound. So I'm hearing like an anvil. Boom, 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 you know, clang, 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 clang. And it's perfectly timed. It shows up right when it needs to. This band, they are masters at instrumentation and putting together a song. The format and the organization of the song. Masters. They know how to end a song. They know how to bring back the different motifs. It is perfection. Even though you don't have to be perfect. But when something is perfect, hey, that's pretty cool. And the string sounds, of course, like these studio strings, and they're real. You can tell they're real. I can tell. I can tell they're real strings. And there's no reverb. It's very unforgiving, but that's what makes it exciting, at least for me as a string player, is hearing those string players playing and not missing a note, and you hear every note, unforgivingly so, that they are playing, and it's just wonderful. Oh, there were so many sounds and so many just soundscapes that were happening there. I could barely keep track. All right, so I'm going to back it up and we're going to continue on. All right, here we go.
Mr. Blue, we're so pleased to be with you. Look around, see what you do. Everybody smiles at you.
So great. I'm happy. I almost have tears in my eyes, but it's because I'm so happy. I really get moved by music, and I'll get tears in my eyes when just when it's beautiful and when it's good. Just good music and a good time, The emotions just bubble right up. So that was great. All right. Oh, where do we begin? There's so much to talk about. Okay. Well, first of all, I didn't quite catch what the whatever robot voice said at the end, but that's okay. We'll figure that out another time. But that little surprise switcheroo at the end, I wasn't expecting that. It was like, wait a minute, the song is ending? It started slowing down. There was a little, a retard, but then it didn't stop. And there was this little orchestral tag, like a little showcasing, a little cadenza here at the end. And it was beautiful. little hints of classical music. The choir picked up little piano solo moment. The chord progressions suddenly became almost like uber romantic. Like it was very emotional. And right before that, what we had just come from, like that switch itself wasn't just a big surprise, but having come from such different material before. So what happened right before that little switcheroo, we were hearing a lot of cluster chords, the crunchy chords, and it was just so full. Just this soundscape is just so full of color and imagery that you can barely keep up. You feel like you're on a roller coaster, or I don't know, in like an IMAX theater, where you're completely immersed in the experience. Just goosebumps. Okay, so musically, I talked about how they put songs together. And I hadn't even gotten to that little switcheroo that they did at the end. That was really fun. I like, though, how they have the bookends. So they had the little robot sound at the end, and then they also had it at the beginning. In fact, maybe it was just the vocals. To me, it seemed like actually almost like a journey. Like there was a distant voice at the beginning that was almost robotic. And then it ended up being just fully spoken by the end. Sort of the same sentiment, but just happier. Like we were in the dark clouds and, oh, look, it's sunny out. Let's go. And that was kind of like the realization at the beginning. And then finally at the end, like, oh, what a beautiful sunny day that was. Let's just hear that. Here's the beginning. Okay, that's what it was. So it wasn't like the vocals that I was remembering. It was just a weather forecast. Good enough. But I loved how it was like on like the mono radio, that sort of sound. And then at the end, then we have, to me, I don't know, they just seem sort of similar in idea. They're not the same, but they represent the same little gesture at the beginning and the end. And of course, I love that unison note at the end. That's really, really great in the strings. And actually, that one was a little tiny bit. There was a bit of a reverb on that. So, but in general, the drums and vocals and string sounds are pretty dry. Oh my goodness. Okay, so some other fun things that I need to mention. So, for instance, the diction that I talked about, how they pronounce their words. There's just something very open yet short, exaggerated about the vowels that they sing.
Hey there, Mr. Blue, we're so pleased to be with you.
So hey, Mr. Blue, I'm so pleased to be with you. It's just, and I don't know if that's part of an accent that the band members have. It very well could be, but generally when you're a singer, you're supposed to not let your native accent show through. So in the US, we have to work really hard on not singing our R's. So we actually almost end up sounding more European when we get rid of the R's in our singing. But with this, I don't know, Mr. Blue, Mr. Blue, Mr. Blue. It's just, there's something so cute and unique about it. And I've always loved it for ELO. Okay, then also the slides. So I love the slides, and I have to say, I mentioned earlier that this band was a really big influence for me with my compositional style in music. And that's one thing that I use universally in all of my works. A little bit of a slide, either, in the instrumentation. It's just sort of a neat technique that has sort of become an aesthetic for me. And I can't help but say that this was a direct influence on that. So let's go back and hear an example of that.
Had away for so long. Where did we go wrong?
Okay, and so there are so many examples of that. That happened all over the place, but ELO, that's one of their little touches that they do. And so I'm also noticing in the background there sort of an organ sound. That was really neat. I'm just trying to get all of the different sounds that some of them are sort of more hidden in the background than others, but it's just so much fun catching all the details in the soundscape. Another little aesthetic is the clang, 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 clang. And again, it's perfectly placed every time it happens. Let's see if we can find one. And even right there, the strings were syncopated. So you hear bum, 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 and that clang is always there to sort of center us back. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see if we can hear that again. Yeah, so you heard the strings and then boom, 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 boom. Love it. Oh, and then that little robotic voice. So I don't know the name of the microphone or whatever that does that. It's almost like, what is it, a vocoder? That sort of became popular like maybe 10, 15 years ago, where when you sing, it sort of turns one note into a whole chord. And it's sort of similar to that, but it also changes into this little robot voice. And I guess the first time you would hear that, you would think it was kind of weird. I am kind of used to it, and I actually really love it because of my early exposure to ELO. And so when I hear it, it just feels comforting and kind of makes me happy. So when I hear that, it makes me smile. Okay, and then getting into this next section, we start to hear the choir. What I love about the choral parts in ELO music is they use professional singers, and they really, really focus on the lowest voices. So we have, almost these Russian basses. Russian choirs tend to have a tradition of extremely low bass voices. Like if you listen to Rachmaninoff Vespers, you hear some of those low. I think one of them goes down to a low B at one point, or maybe an A. Oh, I think it actually goes down to a low A. You just gotta love those low voices. I love that. There's just something about the depth to what they have behind in their soundscape that's so luscious. Okay, there are now the full chorus. Deep, rich voices, very, very pure. I don't hear a whole lot of vibrato, but it's a really good group of singers. And you hear those lower notes in there too.
Now his hand is on your shoulder. Never mind, I remember you this way. Mr. Blue Sky.
All right, that little chord progression right there. They could have just kept going with it, but instead they stopped and went back. Let's see if we can catch that. So it should have gone, I remember you. They should have just done that, but instead it does this. So it does this little jog back, and it goes from major to minor and then back, and it fools you. So you would think it's going to end in F major, but instead it goes. and then instead of back to F, and it goes back to a D. Love it. It's so twisty and turny, and it keeps you on your toes. Let's hear all that again.
Now his hand is on your shoulder. Never mind. I'll remember you this way. I'll remember you this way. Mr. Blue Skies, tell us why you had to hide away for so long.
All right, and here I loved this little thing. Again, it's sort of more syncopated string stuff. Syncopated just sort of means like in between the beats instead of like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's in between those. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and kind of in between there. So let's hear what the strings do. It's kind of fun.
Why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong?
So did you hear that?
Mr. Blue Skies, tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong? Hey there, Mr. Blue Skies, so pleased to be with you. Look around, see what you do. Everybody smiles at you.
Oh, that was so creative because now instead of the strings being on the little syncopated thing, it was some slidey voices, which we already talked about. I love it. Let's just keep going. Those voices are luscious, really, really operatic. Really, really lovely, like operatic full voices. So much fun. But we're not done yet. Little decrescendo and then what? What? Movement 2 of this little work here? What? Okay, so I love the change in the percussion. All, of the cymbals. It's still dry, but it's a little fuller. Then the whole tone of the music, it almost turned more cinematic. Like we're really trying to tell a story here. You get to sort of fill in the blanks. And to me, this is really classic ELO. Like what I've heard on Discovery is some really great usage of the symphonic instruments. So those arpeggios, an arpeggio is just a chord that's spread out. And so you hear a lot of that in the strings. Okay, so let's see. Where were we? I'll demonstrate just a little bit. Okay, so I think that line was on a G. Yeah. And then we have the arpeggio. Like that. Let's hear. You hear it in the piano first. And then the choir with the strings on the lower octave. There's the upper octave. And then it goes all the way down to the, Oh, the little slides. So much fun. Oh, I love that little turn. It's so much fun. And of course, all of the piano Yeah, a lot of E flat major arpeggios in the keyboard. Excellent chord progression. There's that little, oh, I love that. And the cello line. Oh. Okay. That little cello line at the end was really, really neat. But then that's a funny little thing. There was a little glitch, and then it was like, the end, bum, that E flat. But it was almost like they patched it together. There was a little clip there. I don't know if you're meant to hear that or not, but that's what I'm assuming happened there. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. This whole thing was such an adventure. It was so great. Okay, that was Mr. Blue Sky by ELO. And I loved every second of it. It was exactly what I was hoping it would be, and more. This is the first ELO on the channel. There will definitely be more coming up, so stay tuned. Feel free to recommend in the comments other songs by ELO. I think they have lots of albums, so, did you like Discovery? If you do, what's your favorite song on it? I know I have my favorite. Couple of favorites. Got some Last Train to London and some Horace Wimp. If you know, you know. And maybe I can do a deep dive on some of those songs that I love so much because I've known them since I was a tiny kid. So that might be fun too. But I really want to get to know all of the ELO that I've missed because I think there's a whole lot of it and I just really need to do this. So leave in the comments what else I should analyze and react to. Go ahead and support the channel if you wish as well. Like and subscribe. You can see me over on Patreon. We've got a lot of fun stuff going over there, a lot of exclusive content, community chats, and polls where you can help decide what is next on the channel. And you can also do that as a channel member here on YouTube. You can also just support the channel a little bit on Ko-fi. I do post a couple of behind the scenes things over there for everybody too. And we're just having a good old time here, and ELO is helping to just light our way, and we're loving every minute. So thanks for coming along with me on this journey. This is so much fun. Okay, and as always, just remember that you don't have to be perfect. Just be okay. And keep listening.